Welcome back, story lovers, to a One Storyteller the channel, where every tale is a journey, every character comes to life, and every twist will leave you breathless. Whether you're here for the drama, the suspense, or the life lessons, we've got you covered. Today's story is one that will make you question authority, justice, and the power of humility. It's a tale of arrogance, respect, and a verdict that will leave you speechless. So grab your popcorn, settle in, and let's dive into this unforgettable story. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a story. Let's begin. The courtroom was silent, save for the faint hum of the air conditioning and the occasional shuffle of papers. Judge Marcus Thompson sat tall on the bench, his sharp eyes scanning the room. A seasoned judge with over 2 decades of experience, Marcus was known for his fairness, wisdom, and no-nonsense demeanor. His presence commanded respect, and he expected nothing less from those who entered his courtroom. On this particular day, the case before him was a routine traffic violation. Officer Linda Harper, a white female officer with a reputation for being overly aggressive, had pulled over a young black man for allegedly running a red light. The young man, Jamal Carter, insisted he had done no such thing and had come to court to fight the ticket. Officer Harper strutted into the courtroom, her uniform crisp and her posture rigid. She had a reputation for being arrogant and dismissive, especially toward those she deemed beneath her. As she took the stand, she glanced at Judge Thompson with a look that bordered on disdain. It was no secret that she had little respect for authority figures who didn't align with her worldview. The prosecutor began questioning her, and Officer Harper recounted the events of the traffic stop. Her tone was condescending, and she frequently rolled her eyes when Jamal's attorney objected to her statements. Judge Thompson watched her carefully, his expression unreadable. As the cross-examination began, Jamal's attorney, a young and passionate woman named Sarah, asked Officer Harper a series of pointed questions. Officer Harper, is it true that you have a history of disproportionately targeting black drivers in your traffic stops? Officer Harper smirked. I don't see how that's relevant. I enforce the law equally, regardless of race. Sarah pressed on. But statistics show that over 80% of your traffic stops involve black drivers. How do you explain that? Officer Harper leaned back in her chair, clearly annoyed. Maybe they're the ones breaking the law. Ever think of that? Judge Thompson raised an eyebrow but remained silent. The tension in the room was palpable. Then, as Sarah continued her line of questioning, Officer Harper did something that shocked everyone. She turned to Judge Thompson and said, "With all due respect, Your Honor, can we move this along? I have better things to do than entertain baseless accusations." The courtroom gasped. Judge Thompson's eyes narrowed, but he simply said, "Officer Harper, you will show respect in this courtroom. Proceed." Jamal took the stand next, his voice steady but filled with emotion. He explained that he had been driving home from work when Officer Harper pulled him over. "I didn't run that red light," he said firmly. "I know I didn't, but she wouldn't listen to me. She just kept yelling at me, telling me to stay in the car and not move." He paused, looking directly at Judge Thompson. "Your Honor, I've been pulled over so many times for no reason. I'm tired of it. I just want to be treated like a human being." The sincerity in his voice resonated with everyone in the room, except Officer Harper, who rolled her eyes again. After both sides had presented their cases, Judge Thompson took a moment to review his notes. The courtroom was silent, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Finally, he looked up and began to speak. "Officer Harper," he said, his voice calm but firm, "your conduct in this courtroom has been nothing short of disgraceful. You have shown a blatant lack of respect for the judicial process, for the defendant, and for this court. Your arrogance and dismissiveness are unacceptable, especially from someone sworn to uphold the law." He paused, letting his words sink in. Then he continued, "As for the case at hand, the evidence presented does not support the charge against Mr. Carter. Therefore, I am dismissing the ticket." The courtroom erupted in murmurs of surprise. Jamal's face lit up with relief, while Officer Harper's expression turned to one of shock and anger. But Judge Thompson wasn't finished. "Furthermore," he said, his voice rising, "I am issuing a formal reprimand against Officer Harper for her conduct. This reprimand will be added to her permanent record, and I am recommending that she undergoes sensitivity training and a review of her policing practices." The room fell silent. No one had expected such a bold move from the judge. As the courtroom emptied, Jamal approached Judge Thompson. "Thank you, Your Honor," he said, his voice filled with gratitude. "You have no idea how much this means to me." Judge Thompson nodded. "You deserve to be treated with respect, Mr. Carter. Never forget that." Meanwhile, Officer Harper stormed out of the courtroom, her face red with anger. She knew her career would never be the same after this. In the weeks that followed, Officer Harper was forced to confront the consequences of her actions. The reprimand on her record made it difficult for her to advance in her career, and the sensitivity training opened her eyes to the biases she had been blind to. For Judge Thompson, the case was a reminder of why he had chosen this path. He knew that true justice required not just fairness, but also the courage to stand up to those who abused their power. The story of Judge Thompson's verdict spread quickly, inspiring others to take a stand against injustice. Jamal became an advocate for police reform, sharing his story to raise awareness about racial profiling. Judge Thompson continued to preside over his courtroom with the same integrity and fairness that had earned him the respect of his community. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, every like, comment, and subscription helps us bring more stories like this to life. Until next time, this is A1 Storyteller signing off. Stay curious, stay kind, and always believe in the power of a good story. See you soon.